Fitly.
Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. TikTok, you don't stop. I will help you make your paper stack. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now? 205-964-5243. Yep. 205-964-5243. You know.
Welcome, June 8th. Here to talk about real estate investing with a strong emphasis on wholesale and real estate, where your cash or credit is pretty much irrelevant. Low risk, high reward opportunity. It's Kelly Wednesdays. Investor / broker. Here to add some sugar, spice, things of life.
Everything nice.
Everything nice. I have that part.
That's some money.
Yeah. How's it going, Kelly?
Going well. I was sharing with your team that I'm on a fast, so if I pass out, just send them to me. No, but I'm drinking right now. I'm drinking some sea moss, which is yeah. So it provides like 90 plus. Yeah, a little bit different.
92 of the 102 minerals your body.
I think ginger ale does the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what?
In black culture, it does.
Yeah, in the community, like you drink some ginger ale. Your stomach hurt, drink some ginger ale. I don't know why we thought putting more sugar in our body helps.
That's all we had.
Oh man.
With that being said, I'm gonna keep drilling myself.
In my refrigerator just in case.
Starving, man. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so if you want to join the live stream, text the word Gator to this number, 205-964-5243. You can join the live stream, basically have your own personal one-on-one session with us. If you need a step-by-step process, as close as it can possibly get, through my free videos, text the letters VIP, all one word, VIP, to 205-964-5243, and that'll get you going in the right direction. I guess it'd be nice if when I pull one out, I just slide it back where I got it from.
I used to think you was gonna do that, but
it's
you know,
when I figure out this simple stuff, it just simplifies my life. I am so appreciative whenever that happens. Contract, text the word contract to the number to use the paperwork. This is the superpower, what makes this all work. Text it to the number here, and that'll get you going. It's going to explain how to fill it out for sellers and buyers, and how to access it on an unlimited basis, and also how to get it signed virtually. Most people fail in this business because they never figure out what a great deal is. And so here we go. GD. This video is very, very important. Very important. And I'm doing it too. And so the follow-up video to that is ARV. You're going to need this video after you watch that video. Text ARV. This is very important also when determining if you have a great deal or not. That's the name of the game. If you don't ever figure that out, you're not going to go ahead and do something else. All right? But you want to partner with us, text 5050 to the number, follow the instructions in the video and on the website. Let's get this bread, BR bread. And so, what else we got? Cold calling. Put your cold calling on steroids with a super dialer. Text the word dialer to the number to get instructions on that or get access to it. So we'll stop right there, and we'll get into it.
All right. Everybody on YouTube is just saying hello, Flipman and ladies.
Tell her about the lightning round.
Oh, Kelly, we're gonna do so basically we told Ty that he takes too long to answer questions because sometimes when we get off the live we have so many questions left over and I don't need no amens in the comments. We know. But
They had
so
to look like that.
so when we answer the questions, we're gonna try to do them in 30 seconds. Not really 30 seconds, just quick.
Okay.
Okay.
Good I'm not sensitive.
Yeah, for him it's 30 seconds.
Okay.
Let's see. The first one is just a statement, but they said happy Wednesday. Want to thank you all for what you're doing. It's greatly appreciated. Tanya from YouTube said that she needs a house.
Okay.
How can she get a house?
Good question. To live in?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe so.
We need to know where you need a house at and how much you need a house for.
Right. Let's see. Lambo Kids said glad to be here, big bro. They also said that they've had the course for 2 months now. Oh, see, somebody asked about the mukbangs. Eric Carney, he used to watch all the time on Facebook. He said, "What? No mukbang? We don't do mukbangs anymore."
You used to do a mukbang. You know what? I'm down for a mukbang once I get off. But let's try some smoothie or some teas. Let's do some teas.
Orange smoothie.
Yeah, he like tea.
If somebody want to come up here, you got a what do you call it? A restaurant or something?
Mm-hmm.
You want some power meals? You want to get some free advertisement?
You should do something that's lighted.
Well, I guess it's only just in Birmingham, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? Cupcakes, anything. You ain't got to be.
Cupcakes. Don't bring no cupcakes up here. He's supposed to be eating healthy. All right. This one says, if a seller has several properties to sell at the same time, should I select only the ones I'm able to comp? He has given me the option of package deal or individual houses and land.
If a seller has several, sorry, I was
30 seconds.
He's not
trying to answer the question.
Oh.
So okay, so I kind of did something on the land for this last night. You can do a bottom up or a top down. On these, if you have a portfolio, I would look at what the cap rate is if you're going to be paying cash or what the yield will be, and see what you can do to get in the yield that you want to be in. So usually investors want to be in the 8 to 12 yield. So I would just quantify it based on that. If you're having problems figuring out comps, just basically place value on it for yourself. Yeah, and that would go with the package deal route because that portfolios could sell to investors that don't really look at individual houses for the actual value based on what the comparable sales are. Portfolio deals can go for a value of what they're willing to get in return. I did good.
You did. You did. Okay, let's see. I don't have a whole lot.
Are you gonna go for it? You gonna answer it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, since she gets struggling to find a question, then they said they could sell it as a package or individually. So some of it may not be. I ain't gonna say it's not worth it, but sometimes it's just not worth it. So if he gonna let you cherry pick, I would start with cherry picking first and create the package from my cherry picking, and then look at some of the additional stuff that he may just throw in as a bonus or whatever. I don't know. It's sort of hard to say without looking at it. It may all be just extremely valuable. And then at the end of the day, how much does he want for his properties? Just because he wants to sell, just because he wants to sell doesn't make it a deal. Let's be clear on that. So just start out just evaluating each property based on what he wants to sell for and what's going on with that particular property. And what type and so on. 30 seconds.
People are laughing at you.
There was a trend going around. See if you could like drink a Sprite without,
Without burping?
yeah.
You sound like
you
you remember when Kay
I can
Ivy
do that.
burped at that press conference a few weeks
I can do
ago.
that.
Oh,
Kay Ivy,
no.
she burped at a press conference. It wasn't. It was bad. It was worse than what Ty did.
Mm.
Yeah, it was. She wrong.
They hurt
They
me.
said grown people don't burp, they bilge.
Well, you're right. They do bilge. She bilged.
All right. This is on Instagram. What to do when a cash buyer has their own contract they want you to sign?
That's not uncommon. You almost should expect it.
It's one of those things. If a cash buyer has their own contract, I mean, you already know what terms you like to sell your contract on. You want to make sure that you can assign it. You want to make sure that you understand what the earnest money and what the contingencies are to the contract, if there are any. Make sure it's an as-is contract, cash. Make sure that it is, you understand everything that's in it, and make sure that. But the biggest thing is make sure that you can assign it. So as long as that is the case, if you're a wholesaler, then it shouldn't be a problem what contract you use.
All right. Let's see. This one says I get paid while driving for dollars. Okay, do share. How do you do that? This one says I want to know if those chips you're eating are that good.
Well, it was over 3:30, and I hadn't drink anything but some water earlier, so I was starving. So yeah, we had ran out of time to really get some food. So one of the lovely individuals here went up the street to CVS and got me a bridge until after this is over. So to answer your question, I don't know if I've tasted anything better before.
All right. This one came from Frost Supreme on YouTube. They said the seller wants to sell his house, but he's not willing to discount his property. Do I go ahead and place it on contract anyway?
He's not willing to discount it. Okay.
I would not, unless you have an amazing relationship with a realtor that has a retail buyer that can buy it at retail, and you get paid some type of referral fee. Because the deal with this is how you make the money is from the spread in the middle, from the market price versus the discounted price. So if there's no discount, then that means that you don't make any money. So you definitely need to, not saying that you can't make money off of selling properties, it's not a discount. You just have to know where your buyers are that are not buying at a discount before you get it under contract.
Okay. I think this is Dion. She said she needs the number for a dialer. Can you throw the card back up? What should she text?
Of course. Text dialer to 205-964-5243.
All right. This one came from Allegra. She said, hello, I'm finding a lot of homes here in Philadelphia where the owner has died. What is the best route to take to get a deal after contacting the heirs and they want to sell? I hope I'm clear.
This is great. Not that they've died, but that means there's a lot of probates. So I would actually, if you have a lot of people that have died, I would just actually start forming a relationship with a probate lawyer as well. But the best route to get the deal after contracting the heir, what is the best route to take to get a deal after contacting the heirs and they want to sell? It's just like a normal deal. The way you get it is just a lead source, but you basically would get it under contract, and then you would, send it to, or text it to Ty 50/50, and Do a deal that way if you need buyers, or if you've already linked with buyers, cash buyers in your area. Then you basically would just assign the contract to an end buyer.
Yeah, the main thing with those heirs is just making sure they're all on the same page. Sometimes it's hard to identify everybody that's involved because they may not let you know. And the title, that's part of the title company's job, but you hate to get that far down the road without knowing that. But, just hopefully you can get everybody on the same page if a will wasn't in place and there wasn't an executor assigned to it. So, but those normally, a lot of times those turn into some of the best deals because they're hard. Or can be.
Mm-hmm. All right. This is on the first question is on TikTok. Is it possible to still profit in these times?
Understatement.
Absolutely, because now sellers are starting to realize that that 2019 to 2021, when you can basically put anything on the market and it sells because the inventory is low. Inventory is still low. It's just at the point that interest rates are higher. So just think about it right now. Just to give you an example, interest rates are to the point that every time it raises 1 point, that's 12% more expensive to the buyer. So it's at a time now where you can reach out to sellers and use that information, and to know that you have cash buyers that you can sell your property to, and they don't have to worry about listing, cleaning out. It can be sold as is, so you can actually make a lot of money during these times.
Don't stop watching the news. Everything they base the industry on is what comes from realtors, and just that. But there's more properties not for sale that are for sale, listed. There's more real estate not for sale. Yes, what Kelly said, if you're targeting those properties that are listed, yeah, you playing with the way they're saying it is. But that's why we spend a lot of time talking about marketing, because you're targeting pieces of real estate that are not for sale. They don't know they want to sell it until they either see a message or receive a message from you in some form. The motivated seller. We deal in the life game, not really what the market is doing. We deal in the life game. You get it cheap enough, don't care what's going on. Now, it can still be relative, obviously, on what's happening in the market. It may be a lot easier to move some stuff than others. But at the end of the day, if you find a great real estate deal based on what the market, what investors are doing right now, that's the only thing you really have to monitor. Oh, the money is there. As long as they don't make real estate free, it's going to be endless opportunities. Endless. This is a big country. Did you all know that, of course, Australia is a continent, and within the continent, you have the country of Australia, I'm assuming, right? Am I saying that right? Okay, that's one. I don't know if that's unique, but did you all not know that most of it doesn't have people?
It's uninhabited.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
That would make sense.
Why? I didn't know that.
Is that our fun fact of the day?
Yeah, it's only about 25 million or so, I think, maybe less than 30 million people in the total continent. And it's a massive place.
Australia.
We got cities with more than that. I'm sorry, we don't have cities. We have states more than that. California and Texas being 1 or 2. So anyway, just thought I'd bring that up.
That's our little tidbit for the day.
Learn something,
There's even less than Antarctica, though, right? Like, there's hardly nobody in there, but research.
Oh, no, ain't nobody there.
Nobody
there.
I can't blame them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is on Instagram. Do you prefer in-house VAs or outsourcing them?
I prefer anybody that can help.
No, definitely. It's not about who the VAs are. It's about the leader, honestly. Are you a good leader? Are you able to take the time to communicate what you need done and train them the way that you need it done? That's really what it's all about. You can't expect the VA to be the answer to all your problems if you haven't properly led them and trained them to do the job.
Kelly, you know what? You just said a mouthful right there at the end. Is that see? And I guess I don't know. I don't know if I'm guilty. I know I'm not guilty of this because I really just started using VAs on a day-to-day basis within the last few months. But a lot of people will make it seem like that just to make it just you just hire some VAs and it is on. No, they need to be trained. They may be very familiar with real estate and the process and the lingo and all of that, but at the end of the day, they're still going to need to know your process and what's going to how you succeed in just duplicating those efforts. That's the name of the game. So you still got to have a system for them to implement. So anyway,
Yep.
30 seconds.
All right. this is also on Instagram. How can I know if the contract from the cash buyer is assignable? Do I ask the buyer?
The cash buyer, see, they said is the contract from the cash buyer assignable. No, the cash buyer, no.
This was the same person that asked.
They're confusing the seller, the contract with you and the seller, because the contract with the cash buyer, no, there's nothing to assign. You have the contract with the seller, the contract with your buyer, whether it's yours or theirs. It doesn't matter if it's assignable or not, because that's the end of the deal. Now it's time to close on it. Maybe they're confusing the seller with the buyer. But that's not how it works. Am I missing something?
That was the same person that asked about what to do when the cash buyer has its own contract.
Yeah, as long as his terms don't conflict with your terms with the seller, period. But being assignable or not is irrelevant if it's on the buyer side, unless you don't want him to have the ability to assign it. If you want to do that, I don't see why you wouldn't. Whatever, if they can make it happen, that's what you're doing.
All right. This one came from Michael M on YouTube. He said, "Can you give us an example of a recent wholesale deal you did? How much was your fee, and how did you market the deal, and how did you find the buyer?"
A recent deal? Just I guess talking about land. A lot of it from which one? Let's do Miss Gladys now. Came from a website, from a Google AdWord lead, and initially her boyfriend / husband, I'm not sure what title he holds. He called, and then she called after him. Then he called me back to see if she called, and I called her back to let her know he called. Anyway, long story short,
There was a whole lot of calling going on.
there was a lot of calling going on, and put the deal. I ain't gonna go through it all because it was a mess. We're trying to keep stuff under 30 seconds. Put her in the contract. Had to actually mail it to her. She was in Miami. There was a lot right next door to her house. I mailed it to her. She mailed it back snail mail, thinking I was going to get it in 2 days. Took a week. Finally got it. She was frustrated. She faxed it over to me. And who does that? She didn't want to do email. Said somebody was in an email or whatever. And the day she faxed it over was the same day I got it. So it took a week for me to get it through mail. Obviously, a few seconds to get it through fax. Once we're on the contract, they literally called me every day. How we found a buyer, lady that I partner with on these deals, she found a buyer. Basically, what she does is she finds a realtor in the market, and I let them run with it or whatever. And that's what happened. We basically, once we let the realtor know we had a buyer for it in 2 days, closed it probably 10 days later. So they initially wanted 200 and some thousand for the land, for the lot. It was only like 0.2 something acres. I don't even think it was a quarter of an acre. It was very small. And we got them down to 50. So that's not common. I'm just telling you right now. But offers are free. Got them down to 50, sold it, boom, or whatever. So.
All right. Kelly, you want to share?
How much you sell it for?
Oh, they want to know that too. I normally don't do that, but I will. So we got in the contract with 50. We wholesaled it for 89. Paid the realtor 6% of that, so the difference was like 33 something. So we split 33 grand.
And a reason why I asked that is because I want to share like a tiny deal that I just did. So every deal is not always going to be like, this huge deal, but as long as you can get it done, you can get it done. Like I just had a deal down in Montgomery. House needed a lot of work, but I knew I had a cash buyer, but I knew that cash buyer was going to buy it cheaply. And I knew I wasn't going to make a lot of money on it, but I knew I can get it done. And so, but it was tough because the person was taking care of someone that had special needs. So it was really tough of like she took the lockbox off the house. So just coordinating and getting people in and getting inspectors in. And my cash buyer is actually using the hard money lender. So being able to go through the appraisals and getting the appraiser in plus the inspector in. Needless to say, we got it done, got it closed, and I only made like $2,000 on it. But you know what? Honestly, I didn't have to do a lot of work on it because my cash buyer didn't require a lot. They're low maintenance as long as they can get access to the property. We had a trusted title company and a lawyer there that took care of everything, knows how we work with investors. So I didn't have to really do a lot of work just for $2,000. Just sent it over via text, and we were under contract within less than a few hours. So I love that he gave that example and I gave this example. Like that's just business. That's how it works,
All right. A bunch of people are saying what's up. They said what's up from the 513. Somebody said what's up from the 313, from the 352. This one says, appreciate you guys consistently answering my questions. Should I create a business email when creating a wholesale business? If so, should it be my business name?
Yes, if you have the money to create it. If you are just getting started out and money, and you're still, trying to get your first deal and you haven't made a lot of money and you don't have a lot of money to invest, then I would say use that money to invest in marketing and buying leads. However, if you have money to invest, set aside about $700 to $1,000. Get your website, get an LLC filed. You can get a Google G Suite or either Zoho mail with your last your LLC's name as a domain for the email. It does look more professional. However, people do business with people all the time that has an @Gmail or a @Yahoo account. So don't use that as an excuse of not getting started first. But if you can, then do it.
All right. This one came from Chef Tony. He said, how can I obtain a physical proper contract? I'm thinking a physical paper contract. Ty?
Yeah.
Basically, after they do what?
Get a physical contract.
A physical proper contract.
You fill it out. You follow these instructions here. Fill it out, and you can put it in your hands if you want to. Well, what's the deal with wanting a blank contract? Help me understand. I'm missing something. It's useless. Blank. I'm serious.
Maybe they want to show somebody. I don't know.
And maybe they get questions. I know when some people get questions about it from the seller, and they just want to go through it to make sure that they understand it.
Okay. Yeah. You can still do that online. I'm still missing it.
Yeah, I mean, you could just put some dots in the lines and then print it out. And then
you're talking about an actual. I don't know the reason for it. Like a physical. I don't know the reason for that. Unless they're taking it to the appointment.
I really want to know. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, what's
they're taking it to the appointment and they're having wet signatures.
don't do that. I'm advising them not to do that unless forced to.
Okay.
Because you put yourself in a position to be questioned and you don't know the answer. I'm just saying, I'm this coming from experience now. I ain't just making this up now. I try to give you the easiest route to a check. If the person that asked the question explains to me, I want to know because I don't know everything. Maybe I'll say, oh, I ain't think about it that way. That's what I'm looking for. I ain't think about it that way.
I'll tell you too, to say yes to what you're saying. Getting it done digitally, and the fastest way to lock someone into a deal is you have better chances of getting that deal done for sure. I want to get to the point where I have our own title company and we can just send a title and start running title searches day of signatures.
No. Kelly, everybody can't afford to do that, Kelly.
No, I know. But that's where I want to get to.
We know you got it going on. Everybody can't afford to do that now.
That's where I want to get to, though.
Yeah, just down the road. No, you don't want to do that. Hey, they start calling you. You got 3 properties you done ran on. Ain't none of them closed. That could be $900 to $1,200.
That's
you
true.
Owe that title company.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. This one came from Amber. Okay.
Let me tell you a lot of the reason why the approach I take. I take it from when I started, when you didn't have no money. Most of my answers come from that perspective. That's the way I try to always keep it. Now, sometimes I lose touch with reality myself or whatever, but I try to come from the perspective that they don't have any money or you don't have any money to dedicate to this or very little money. That's why I try to come from that perspective.
Mm-hmm. This person commented, they said older people may not want to do the electric way. They might be more comfortable with physical contract.
But you deal with that when that happens. You still print, you still fill it out online. That's what I'm saying. I don't know, we're missing it because you're still gonna have to fill it out. You fill it out online, you still can print it out. You do know that, right? Once you download it, you can print, you can just be there on your computer, you can print it out, you can email it, whatever you want to do. But you can still print out the hard copy. It's just filled out. That's why I'm saying, why is the blank copy so important? That's what I'm missing.
They might be new.
Okay, well, that's a good answer too if they knew. That's what I'm saying. I'm missing the disconnect. Yeah, I get it. I just explained to you.
Yeah.
Miss Gladys didn't want me to email it to her. I literally overnighted her a contract. But guess what I did? I filled it out here on the site as instructed, printed it out, signed it, and sent it to her. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. I don't get the blank. Can I get a blank copy? I'm not getting that part of it.
All right. This is on TikTok. Do you have a script for cold calls?
Good question.
Yeah.
Oh. Print that out too.
Mean today.
No, like ain't nobody give me no answer. That's what I'm saying. I want the answer.
Well, they you don't know what, like, you know, they might be the different level or whatever than everybody else.
They said that older people may want this or that. I just gave you the answer. You still it still needs to be filled out. Maybe I didn't explain this part of it. The reason I went to that, doing that way, that allows you to present a professional contract. Handwritten will still work, but it's best to present. It's already, so now no one has to try to figure out your handwriting or anything. It should be legible to anyone that can read. You should say so. It shouldn't be in a discrepancy on the agreement because it's filled that it's all printed out. That's what I thought I was doing. I was like, you know.
So can I ask a question? When they send the text to for contract, how does it come back? I guess that's why I didn't.
Oh, you must don't know either.
See, that's what I'm saying. They might be new too.
Yeah, well, I tell them that's why I tell them to follow the instructions in the video, but the video shows you how to fill it out, how to do the entire thing. That's why I know it's sort of frustrating because I know they ain't following the instructions. That's what I'm saying, because the video actually tells you how to fill it out it shows you how to fill it out for a seller, how to fill it out for a buyer, how to generate, to download it. If you want to print it out, that option is there. How to actually send it virtually through DocuSign or a similar service to get it signed virtually. That's what I'm saying.
So you don't
if you go to Deal Later, it's 2 contracts there, one for land, one for houses, and it allows you to literally fill it out there, just the spaces that need to be filled out. And so once that happens, it allows you to download it. And once you download it, then you can do whatever you want to with it. You can print it out, or you just simply set it up to email it to someone, whether through DocuSign or literally email it to them.
Got it. So you've made it where they don't make any mistakes, where it eliminates the possibility of making mistakes on the contract.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do explain this in this. Okay. All right. Well, it's because it comes. Yeah.
All right.
Oh
Lord. All right. While we're talking about contracts, this one says the contracts that you provide, would that be considered a double close?
I like your picture. That would be your question. I don't know what that is. I don't know what kind of contracts you provide.
Oh, they talking about, okay, yeah. Say it again.
She said the contracts that you provide, would that be considered a double close?
Well, you mean the process, the way I do it. That's what they really mean.
I guess
because
so.
The way she's probably watched the video. You said she right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she's probably watched the video. She sees me fill out the same contract template for sellers and buyers. It's just the contract with the contract with the buyer is a higher price than the contract with the seller. The difference of those 2 contracts is how you get paid, whether it's through a double close or the way most of the time that I've done it in the past and continue to do it is through an assignment fee. You say, well, how can it be an assignment fee when it's 2 purchase and sales agreement? That's the attorney / a title company level to make that happen. Now, I do have an additional document that's free on the website also. I call it a closing detail sheet. And what it does is it's just basically an explanation to whoever is putting the deal together, who's the seller, who's the buyer, the address, the actual price, who's paying what, who's receiving what, namely your assignment fee, who's paying closing costs, comment section, boom.
So with the closing detail sheet, that'll tell you, because she also asks, who do you give both of the contracts to in order to get paid in the end? So that'll tell you that.
Well, yeah, that's where as Kelly and I were speaking of a moment ago, that's where the title company / attorney, whoever's closing the deal, that's where those documents will be sent. So that's why I was saying you sort of wait. What Kelly said, go ahead and push title through. And I was just saying maybe we want to wait because all these deals ain't gonna close, but the title company's still gonna want their money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're gonna still want their money, and so that's why you want. And then on top of that, even if the situation you find a buyer, sometimes they're not gonna want to use who you use because that's not who they have a relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
And number one, they're bringing the money to the table to close the deal, and if they're gonna pay all closing, which normally that's what happens, at least the way I try to set it up, then I would like to think they have some say so on where it closed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you don't have to deal with them. You can say that could be a deal breaker for you. I know I wouldn't allow it to be a deal breaker because I think I can get whoever he gets to close the deal, even if they've never done it before, to get on the same page with us because everybody about to get paid. So.
All right, and last question about the contract. She asks, do you have to put your social security number on there?
Well, I was just getting the props on watching the video. But didn't watch the video because in the video, which I should remove that part of it. But you put NA there. You don't even ask for it. Just go ahead and just fill it in NA.
All right.
All right, this is back on TikTok. Can you do real estate if you live in Sweden?
Yeah.
Sweden. Which one where the money go?
No.
Which one? The bank?
Switzerland.
Switzerland. Okay, I already get them confused. What's the difference? They close?
Luxembourg. Actually.
They're close in proximity. They're not okay. But go on you. Go ahead, Kelly.
Yeah, I don't know if the complete context of the question, if they're meaning, can you do real estate in the United States if you are in Switzerland, or can you do wholesaling in Switzerland? I know that real estate is still it can be done everywhere, but I will say like it's done differently based on what areas of the world that you're in. But if you are looking to do a wholesaling in the United States, like virtual means virtual. You can be anywhere in the world and do virtual wholesaling in the United States, at least. Now, for Switzerland wholesaling properties, I have no idea what their laws are or how it works. But I will say, like, the buying and selling of real estate works everywhere. I just don't know in what regard, meaning laws, restrictions. So I would say look into that. Maybe search online or Facebook for some Switzerland wholesaling groups. Maybe that could help if there are any. But you can definitely do wholesaling from the United States. You would need to register. I would say go ahead and register an LLC in the United States as well if you could plan on doing it long term.
All right, thank you for that. This is also on TikTok. If the seller carries a mortgage, do you subtract it from the offer you give them?
No, that's not how it works. So, what that does, what the mortgage does, what's left on the house versus what the house is worth. The difference between the mortgage and what the house is worth is equity. You can have positive equity or negative equity. Now, sometimes if they're in the middle of a foreclosure, that's helpful to know because you need to, like, your offer obviously can't be less than the mortgage, really on any property, because in order to sell it, it will need to, for cash, they would need to have at least the entire mortgage paid off, unless you're doing some type of creative finance. So the only time that you really you make the offer is based on the average sales of in the area, our average market sales of what it would be at its most fixed up state, minus repairs, minus the discount. So that's what you would do. You don't factor in mortgage or anything else. You need to know that information though. In the event that means that is less than what the what you can offer is less than what the mortgage is. I hope I explained that where it makes sense. You want to take a shot at that? I don't know if you can clean that up for me.
That was a question about which one?
Do you subtract the mortgage away from the home?
Go on to the next question. Y'all got it. She got it.
All right, this is also on TikTok. If I have a lead to submit, do I submit they said I have a lead. How do I submit a longer question? TikTok limits the entry. So you could join if you go to YouTube and text the word Gator to the number at the bottom of the screen. But how else can they submit a long question? Because they're on TikTok.
How else can they submit a long question there on TikTok? Well, yeah, just post your question in any. Well, the one you can like Ken said. Ken already answered. What am I doing? Right here. This is your own seminar right here. Text Gator to the number and follow the instructions in that text, or you can post your question in the comment section of any of my YouTube videos, and I answer those on a daily basis. And if you don't know how to do that, then somebody replied back to me and they said, I sent that message over to them. So don't think I'm being rude when I do that, but I do it. So number one, I answer your question, but also other people will see your question and my reply. So guess what? It helps you and possibly others. That's the purpose why I say do that, right? So don't ever think I'm being funny if I send that message over to you or whatever. So But then one person said, well, it's asking me to set up a YouTube channel, right? And so they ain't all techy like that. But if you got a Gmail, you technically already have a YouTube channel. You just need to activate it. Trust me, it's not. All you would do is go to YouTube and do sign in, put in your Gmail address and that password. Bam, it's gonna be like magic. They're gonna ask you a couple of questions and boom, you're in. So now when you search for a video, you see a video of mine or whoever, and you scroll down, you'll see a comment section there. You post your question there. And I try to stay up on it every day or two or whatever. Sometimes I may get 3 or 4 days behind, but I'm always catch up, baby. As long as I got some breath in my chest.
Okay.
I'm gonna try. Now I get 1 million or 2 subscribers, it ain't gonna be manageable then. Y'all gonna get me there.
Yeah. You have to put them all in the group.
Right now, right now it is very manageable. Because I don't really do a lot of things, so that's my spare time. It's very manageable.
All right, Amber said, I have a for sale by owner from Zillow for $100K. Comps vary from 60 to 166K. DC says 31K for repairs and gives 29K for offer to seller. Is this a deal? What should the list price be for cash buyers?
So it wouldn't be a deal. And I would go back and really look at why your comps are varying from 60K to 166K, because I would first go there to make sure that you are actually comparing similar properties. So I did like something similar for land. One of the things is if you're crossing over major highways, waterways, if you are looking at properties that were sold within 90 days, but also properties that were sold in the last 3 years, if you're looking at 1,900 square feet properties and 2,500 square feet properties, like all of these are not similar properties. So you want to make sure that you are looking at properties that have a square footage range of a 15% difference either way. You want to make sure that there are properties that are sold within the last 90 days. I start with a super tight radius. I only go to 0.25 miles outside of the subject property, and then I will expand a 1/4 mile until I get at least 3 good comps that fall within that square footage and fall within that time range. And then I take the top 3 and I divide it by and then I get the average, which takes the top 3, add them together, divide it by 3, and that is my comp. So that should be your comps. You shouldn't have comps that range from 60 to 166. If it was 60, that means that it may have been a property that was rough, versus the 166 may have been a move-in ready. Those are not similar properties. So you want to make sure that you're looking at properties that are at what we can sell at the high end, to get the best and most use of, because that's how you're going to back up your repairs, your discounts, and then your fee.
All right. I think y'all remember, but Kyrie said that they make money while they're doing driving for dollars, and he said that he does Uber Eats and Postmates in areas I wish to scope, and then I come across many for sale by owners. And he also said I do this method to find good spots for bandit signs.
Ty and I talked about this a couple of times on this show. I believe that's going to be our next venture, Ty, is we're going to get a Driving for Dollars team out there to start getting some listings for vacant and abandoned properties.
I'm ready.
So he ready.
I ready. I won't ready.
All right, this one says the Center Point, Clay, and Pinson good areas to find deals.
Most definitely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
This one says I have a seller with commercial and residential property that's ready to sell. Can I partner with you to close that deal? Plus, this is my first deal. Yes, you can. I guess he's not gonna answer, but you can text 5050 to the number 205-564-5243. And what is it? 964? Oh, well, he holding it up in his one down your bottom of your screen. All right. This one says a motivated seller called and gave me the address, PropStream, Zillow, and three others said. I don't see the rest of your question. I gotta start reading them first. Hold on. Here you go. I received a call from a motivated seller. I looked up the address on PropStream and several other platforms. They all say property type, single family residence. None of the sites showed pictures. He said, I drove and saw a house, but on further investigation, it was a house with like two trailers attached to it. But the land was about zero point 0.8 acres. That looks great. I don't think I could sell that manufactured house. What do you think about that?
It depends on where it is. Like I said, people evaluate things for different reasons. Just to go back to why there's no pictures, like if a house has never been listed on the MLS, it won't have pictures. So that's actually a good thing. You are usually, or someone, a boots on the ground is a person that usually takes the pictures of the property. But the 0.8 acres with the house and the two manufactured, it may be, it just depends on where it is. That's why coming up with the comps and looking at I think I forgot the number, but texting that number to see if something is a good deal will be helpful in this case, because then they could evaluate not only the land but the structures on it.
Okay. Michelle said, is there a website I can purchase seller leads? I tried PropStream and most of the sellers sold their house years ago.
There is a way that you can filter that out. So you can go into PropStreams. There are filters in PropStream that would say last sold. And I will only go to properties that were sold no more than 7 years prior. So anything 7 years in present, you want to exclude those. And there's a way in PropStream that you can exclude those properties before you ever generate a list. It's a lot of different ways that you can filter. I would suggest going through some PropStream tutorials to make sure that you're getting the most out of PropStream. I'll deal you later.
I think I answered that question. I don't know if it's the same person, but number one, the person that asked that before, the filters that they were using, they were targeting probate and something else and something else. And I said, I wouldn't have targeted that list. That's going to be a very, very small list or whatever. So it depends on it's hard to answer that question without knowing what type of list they're building, because some are not going to provide as much information as others. And that's all based on the county level and how they make it available to the public to be, stacked as services like PropStream and Batch Leads will do or whatever. So we would need to know more information. What type of list did you build? Because that's, again, even if you build the perfect list, if the property is already sold, that's on the county level. That's not on PropStream. They're only producing the information on how the county makes it available, how recent and how accurate the county makes it available to the public. They can't do anything about that. So it's going to be either one or two of those things, one or other, rather.
All right. Marquise, I see you in the chat. I'm going to add you in a second. This one came from Facebook. They said, how do I find good VAs? I'm a trucker by day. Outsourcing most of the work is crucial.
That is going to be tough. Honestly, I was just thinking about this as truckers. As a trucker, it's very difficult to be involved in the day-to-day operations of a business because you're out on the road and you're basically involved in the day-to-day operations of another major industry. I think as truckers, you guys have the opportunity to leverage your credit, leverage your if you have credit, build your credit or partner up with someone on deals, even if it's helping them, like providing like a short loan to help them market. But it's going to be very tough for you, not impossible, but it'd be very tough for you to do VAs. I would need to know what you're looking to do. with your VA, what part of the business you want to get involved in. But I will say what I've noticed with truckers is I see them more successful when they are able to um, be credit partners or be lenders, because they are able to leverage their business credit. Typically truckers have, business credit that they can leverage. That's why I've seen people be more successful in. But I would need to know more information about what you're looking as far as a VA to do, and then I can give you some suggestions on what how to find a good one to do those jobs.
All right. This one says, should we work with realtors to help with finding our end buyers?
Of course, I'm gonna say absolutely, but work with realtors that understand what you're doing, because there are still a lot of realtors out here and brokers that think that wholesaling is illegal. So link up with the ones that are already involved with your real estate investing groups that are involved in your RIAs, that are looking to get as information like you are for investing. Those are usually or are already working with investors, on the because a lot of realtors just work with investors that are just turnkey cash buyers. That's where I get some, mine in Alabama. Like, I just work with investors that are looking for cash buyer for turnkey and properties. So work with those type of realtors.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and add him to the chat.
Y'all scared my Wednesday guy away. He never taps in on Wednesdays anymore. Y'all gotta stop.
Oh, he doesn't. I don't
I
know.
miss you. Come back to us.
Hello.
Hey, how we doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing extremely well. Forgive me, I don't remember how to pronounce your name.
Kelly.
That's short for he doesn't remember my name.
Hey, you like how I dressed it up though, right? Politically correct always. Always
My name
politically
is
correct.
Kelly. I've been trying to resize this so people can see, but it's
Yeah, I mean, even if you get, the background drop, so you
I'm-
can size it up and get somebody to digitally edit that for you, that'd be awesome.
well, it is, but they got it for my YouTube banner and for widescreen. But when they chops it down, I don't have I got to get it resized.
Listen, take a snippet from Mr. Flipman. Go ahead and fiver that out. Somebody get that done for you real quick. So a couple questions, especially for UK. Um, in regards to a couple things. I asked Flipman this question yesterday. I reached back out to a commercial broker that's working the buyer side of a potential deal, but he's still concerned about, you know, digging a little deeper into this. If I have a 8 unit, whether that matter or not, I'm not too sure. But if I have a 8 unit that I'm trying to put under contract, um, do them as a commercial property need to have a certain time frame elapsed from claiming their insurance claim before they can actually sell their property?
Oh, you okay? So wait a minute. We need to go back. What's going on? What kind of insurance claim are they?
So they had an electrical fire on the property that took out 50% of their tenants,
Mm,
and they have it up for sale. It was madly overpriced, but that's irrelevant at this point. I'm just trying to figure out if, it was about 3 to 4 years ago that the fire
oh,
happened.
okay.
So is that enough time for us to go ahead and move forward in regards to working with the commercial broker? Because he's just concerned that his end buyer might get in, his feet messy when stepping into this deal.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, because so that we go back to the title, right? As long as they can deliver a clean title, which 3 to 4 years, unless there are some other things that I don't know about, unless there's a reason why insurance has not paid out or cannot pay out. I'm not sure. I'm not
Okay.
sure. I would need more information about what would potentially cause that delay. but I'm just going to look at it as just a normal deal, no matter what type of damage it is. Um, you deals like that, you will need to allow a little bit longer due diligence, where it allows them to, any records, that, especially if they still are generating any type of income. I know you say it's 50%. I don't know if they're generating 50% on the other. I don't know what's happening with that, but any type of income, any type of expenses that are associated with that particular property would need to be disclosed or need to go through due diligence, and underwriting to make sure that there's nothing in the underwriting or with that property that can fall back on the buyer. And then also you just want to make sure that they can get delivered a clean deed. So you only can do that by going through the title process and making sure they can deliver a clean title.
Okay, I appreciate that. My second question is also for you in regards to working with a couple. I think I've reached out to maybe 5 real estate agents. 2 of them is on game working with me as a wholesaler. Probably more than 5. But in regards to this one that's been feeding me property after property, and with being around the same age and graduating from the same school, we have a good rapport. He sent me a property that need complete renovations. I already talked to Ty about it yesterday. But in regards to, I think I was just getting on when you was speaking about mortgages or working with the real estate individual. What would I need to do in regards to, let's say if the property was up for sale at 230,000, how would I go about structuring this as a wholesaler, trying to get this under contract? Would I submit like getting it under contract with a realtor, with the bank? I already know I have a end buyer that's interested in. How would I go about this a little different than dealing with the regular owner? Or do I just go and talk to the person that's pre-foreclosed? Oh no, sorry, mixed up. Different question. I got a third question. Sorry about that.
Oh, no.
Um,
So there's a way that anybody can wholesale off of the MLS, or if it's a listed property. It's good that you have a relationship, because I would let them know. You would need to let them know when you go under contract, you would need to have, make sure that it's assignable. And since you have a good rapport with this real estate agent, then that shouldn't be a problem. That they know that you're getting it under contract at a certain price. But again, make sure that when you're getting these deals under contract at a price with the MLS, just because with this listed, cash buyers are already going to be questioning if it's a good deal. So you want to make sure that it still meets your numbers. Whereas the 65 to 70% of the ARV minus the repair, so it still is a good deal.
this
And then
email's right for you.
at a certain price, you're still able to get it at a discount, and then you're able to assign that to the cash buyer. The only thing would be is, so sellers pay the realtor commission. If for some reason that could kill the deal, I would suggest you making an agreement with the realtor that the buyer will pay the realtor's commission, because they're getting a little bit of a discount, which essentially means that you would split some of your wholesaler to go towards the realtor.
Okay, I appreciate that. And then I guess both opinions on this in regards to pre-foreclosures and short sales. That is the same thing, correct?
No, that is a process. I always suggest, I've found that the reason why I don't do a lot of short sales and pre-foreclosures, that's actually how I started, why I reached out to Ty back in 2009, because those were like everywhere. I've only found, it still holds true to today, that going and door knocking or trying to get someone as best you can face to face it gets your highest return on pre foreclosures, because you got to think about it. They're checked out, and everybody is calling their phone. Everybody is texting them. They're blocking everybody. They're ignoring everybody. Everybody's sending them mail. The best way to get those type of deals under contract, I believe, is figuring out a way to get face to face with them.
Okay, so what is the difference between pre-foreclosure and short sale?
So a pre-foreclosure is so it's going up to auction. So it's a lease pendants that's been filed, basically saying the mortgagor has declared that the mortgagee is defaulted. So what happens is once that lease pendants is filed, then they have to go through a process to announce it. They make public announcements. They go through that process, and there is a reserve that usually has to be paid, plus to catch up on all the payments if they want to stop the foreclosure. They have a set amount of time. The owner has a set amount of time to satisfy that. If they can't, the property would go up to auction to be, and then once it's and if it does not sell at the auction, then it goes into foreclosure. So basically, they have to remove themselves from the property. But pre-foreclosure is basically anywhere between 30 to 90 days of saying that we will foreclose on this property if the balance is not satisfied from the owner. Short sale is after someone has. I mean, sometimes the owner still has it, but usually it's after you work with the bank and the owner to decide how much they will accept as to satisfy not putting their property in foreclosure. So sometimes they have to negotiate. So say they owe $180,000 on a house. Well, maybe they need to get that. Maybe the owner can supply a certain amount, and they found the buyer that they can buy it, but because it's in negative equity, it's only worth 120, but they owe 180, and then they negotiate a 120 offer. That's a short sale. It takes months to get a bank to agree to a short sale. In this market, it's almost never because prices of houses are up. It worked a lot in 2009 because the value of houses went down drastically. But in this market, I mean, if you do find one, it'll be in a certain market where home values are trending the opposite way.
Okay, so going back to the distressed property that have flood damage, if they have it on the MLS for 230, will my best already having an end buyer that's interested, is it best for me to just go in with the real estate agent and have him submit a bid for 230 if the house is worth 430 and above?
I'm assuming, yeah, if it's worth 430, I don't know what the damages are. But
It's about 100,000 worth of rehab cost.
Okay. So what would be your offer if just take away if it's MLS? What would be your offer on that property if it was fixed up? What would be your wholesale offer?
Let's see. What is it? 230 times 70 minus 100,000. I mean, it'll be somewhere around 61 grand if I'm doing time math right in regards to.
Well, no. What would you offer? What would be the offer that you would normally submit? Because I don't want you
to. I did that wrong. Sorry, I did that super wrong. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I just want to make sure that just because it's listed at 230.
Let's see, 430 times 0.7 equals minus 100. It'll be right around 200,000.
So you would need to put an offer for 200,000 and not 230.
Okay.
I mean, unless you said that your cash buyer says that they will do it at that price, but I mean, I would put in an offer for whatever my normal wholesale offer would be. So you said that your cash buyer has verbally told you that they will pay 230 for that property?
Yeah, they liquidated their business, and they sitting on 10 million, and they got another 10 million promised to them, by year's end. So right now they're just trying to stick a whole bunch of money into real estate.
Okay. Well, go for it. Go for it. If the numbers make sense, go for it. and get it under contract. And you know, when you put your offer in, just basically say the buyer will pay all closing costs, and including realtor's commission. If you make it, if I will actually just do that for 200,000 and just say that the buyer will pay all closing costs plus realtor's commission, because that takes away from the commission on the seller side.
Oh, okay, that's smart. So a small amendment just in favor of the real estate agent. Okay. Whew. All right. I appreciate y'all. Wrapping up here at work, but I figure it was worth getting the questions answered. I appreciate y'all time. Thank y'all so much.
You're welcome.
No problem, man. Thanks for joining us.
Always.
All right. They're about to start next though, 5 o'clock. So that's gonna go into copyright. You know what? So we're not even gonna get the topic answered today. So anyway, Kelly, tell them how they can find you.
Actually, you can just at Kel's Always. I'm about to go live and talk about real estate development on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So if you want to learn about you know, why now is a good time to get into real estate development, you can catch me on live here in about 5 minutes. But other than that, you can always catch me at Kel's Always on Instagram.
All right, guys. We appreciate everyone that joined us today. Appreciate the live stream from Mark Keith. And if you didn't get your question answered, post it in the comment section of any video. This will go into replay mode on all platforms. Tomorrow will be Flippinor, I think 2:25 at 8 p.m. Eastern. So just act accordingly based on your time zone. So we appreciate everyone joining us. We'll see you on the FLIPSIDE.
Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. TikTok, you don't stop. I will help you make your paper stack. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now? 205-964-5243. Yep. 205-964.